theater. In just a few minutes, we invite you to experience the Animation Academy here at the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. Please find your seats now, as this presentation will begin in just a few minutes. Thank you. I invite you to join us for the Animation Academy. Please welcome your sketch artist, Hannah Loughlin.
Welcome to the Animation Academy here at the International Festival of the Arts at Epcot. My name is Hannah Loughlin, and I am so excited to be the artist helping you out today. So before we jump in and get started, just a little bit about me. As I said, my name is Hannah, and I'm a senior concept artist and illustrator for Disney Live Entertainment here at Walt Disney World. So that means I get to work on bringing all the shows and character to life, and I also work a lot with the resorts team doing artwork for the resorts. So, with all that being said, is everybody ready to draw? Are you excited? Yeah, me too, awesome. Okay, so in terms of materials, everybody should have a clipboard, a piece of paper, and a pencil. So if you're missing anything, you can just go ahead and let a cast member know and they'll be able to help you out. So if you've done a drawing class with Disney before, you might notice the pencils are missing something. An eraser, yeah. These pencils don't have erasers. That is okay. That's because today is just for fun. It's just practice. So we're not going to worry about mistakes. It's just for fun. But with that being said, my number one tip for success is to draw lightly. Super lightly, because you can always add more. Without an eraser, you can't take away. So that's my biggest tip for success. And with that, we're going to go ahead and introduce the character that we're going to be drawing today. This is a classic park character. And he debuted in 1971 in a place called the Sunshine Tree Terrace. Does anybody know who it is? Sure. Yes, I heard an orange bird. We're going to be drawing Orange Bird. So if you're not familiar, this is what he looks like. So cute, right? It's one of my favorite characters to teach, so I'm really excited. All right, and you can see some of the basic shapes. We're going to start, instead of just going in and jumping into details with characters, you kind of like to build the shapes. So we're going to start with some basic shapes and then continue to add details as we go. So one of the biggest basic shapes is going to be Orange Bird's head, which is an orange. So we're going to start with a circle. It's going to be in the top half of your page to make sure you have space. So in the top half, you're going to go ahead and do a circle. It is not going to be perfect the first time. It's going to be about the size of maybe like a baseball, no bigger than like a softball. So like baseball size is great. Even professional artists don't draw a perfect circle the first time, so you might notice I'm going over it a few times. Call that kind of finding the line. Like I said, you're going to start really lightly because once you kind of get the hang of it, you can always go back and darken your favorite lines. So Orange Bird is super cute, and his little body is about the same size as his head. So I like to do kind of little markers to keep me on track. So you can kind of measure about the size of however big you made the circle, and then do a little tick mark about that width from the bottom of the circle, and that's how you can kind of know how big the body should go down. So circle, and then a little tick mark at the bottom. All right, next we're gonna add Orange Bird's little belly, and this is an oval shape. It's gonna be kind of a tilt, like a 45-degree angle, if you're a math person, but it's gonna be just a little oval, like this. And again, we're just doing kind of the building blocks right now that'll help us as we continue to add details. This is Orange Bird's little belly. And next up, under that oval, we're gonna go ahead and add an arc, or you can think of it like kind of like a rainbow shape right underneath. It's gonna be at like the same angle, but kind of right underneath that oval. Just like that. Kind of like an upside down bowl, rainbow shape. And you'll notice as we go that a lot of the line work and a lot of the shapes are repeated. A lot of character designers do that for kind of continuity in the character, so it feels like harmonious throughout. All right, after that kind of rainbow shape, we're gonna go ahead and add Orange Bird's little feet. These are really easy, they're just little teardrop shapes. So the first one's gonna be at the bottom, right about where you put that tick mark. And it's gonna be just a little teardrop shape that is pointing towards that rainbow. And then just another reminder, draw lightly. I might go a little bit darker up here so it can be seen well, but you can always kind of darken your lines later on. All right, and for that other foot, it's gonna be kind of sticking up a little bit. It's balancing on one leg. So for this, it's an upside down teardrop. So the little point is gonna be going towards the end of the rainbow. So that's his second little foot. And then to connect the legs, we're gonna go ahead and reuse that same rainbow shape, but it's gonna start a little bit up the belly and then connect to this first leg. So I'll show you what I mean. It's gonna be like a little arc like that. That connects to that teardrop shape. And the other side is a little bit different because we did the belly, but we kind of need the line that goes all the way from the neck. So this is going to be a line that connects at the base of the neck all the way to the foot. It might have like a little bit of a curve to it. So it's going to start at the neck, go all the way. And if yours isn't exactly the same angle as mine, you can kind of tweak it to whatever works with your drawing. I say no two artists are the same, so no two drawings are going to be exactly the same. Every artist is going to look a little bit different. Okay, and then for this belly, we can go ahead and finish by just kind of connecting it to the circle if you haven't already. And then we have most of his little body done. Next, we're going to go ahead and block in the arms. So for this, we're going to use that same shape, that kind of shallow rainbow shape. It's going to start at the top of the neck. And this is another time to draw lightly because we're going to actually draw through the circle to kind of help us know where it should end. So this is going to be the top of his right arm on our left. His little leaves for arms, so cute. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. So most characters are pretty symmetrical, so whatever you do to one side, you kind of do to the other. So this is going to be another of those rainbow shapes. And eventually, this little leaf is going to be tucked behind his head, and so you'll kind of use the lines just as guidelines, which sometimes I think is fun. I kind of like the art process, so I like seeing, we call those like construction lines, when you see lines that aren't necessarily part of the final. Okay, so for underneath the wings, next we're gonna go ahead and kind of try a new line shape. It's like called like an S curve. So we're gonna be using that same shape that we've used, but in kind of a new way. And I'll show you it to the side. You don't have to do a practice one, you can if you want to, but just as a practice one, it's gonna be like a shallow rainbow shape followed by kind of a shallow U shape right after it. And we call that an S curve. So it's kind of a really easy way to get your brain to know how to do that cool sweeping curve. So I'll show you what I mean on Orange Bird. We're gonna start on the outside and do that rainbow shape first, about halfway across, and then follow that by that shallow U shape. And that's gonna make a nice sweeping curve for the leaf. Really nice, elegant shape. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, but it's gonna be mirrored, which means we're gonna start with that U shape first, and then go ahead and do the rainbow after. So about halfway across, whether you start on the outside or the inside, you're gonna have the two U's on the inside, and then the two rainbows, so that his leaf arms come to a point. And now we're about ready to get to the features of his face, which is such a fun part. For this, we're gonna do a couple more construction lines. We're gonna use our favorite shape that we've been using, that kind of like curve. Now it's gonna be vertical, so you can kind of think of it as a parentheses, but kind of think imaginary about a point on the top and the bottom of the circle. And you can go ahead and do a really light kind of parenthesis shape. And this is just gonna be to help us know where to put things on Orange Bird's head, and it also helps us think of it like a sphere. Like in elementary school when you do like the 3D shapes. Okay, so after you have that vertical kind of construction line, we're gonna do a horizontal one too. This one's gonna start on the left and be like a big smiley face all the way across. Like that upside down rainbow we've been using a lot. And this helps us know where the center of that sphere is because it's a great place to put Orangebird's beak. And the basic shape of his beak is also going to be a circle. So right in the middle where those two lines cross, you can go ahead and do a circle. If you made Orangebird's head about the size of a baseball, this is going to be like about the size of a dime, probably no bigger than a quarter. And then after you have that circle, we're gonna go ahead and do the top part of the beak. And this is gonna be using that same shape we already learned how to do. So nice and easy. Now that we're getting to the details, it's just a mini version of it. So you're gonna start on the left where the circle crosses that horizontal line and do the rainbow shape to the middle. And then for the second half, do the U shape. So it's gonna be just like an S curve right in the middle of that circle. And that's gonna make the top part of your beak. So you can darken as you go if you want, or come back at the end, whatever feels comfy. I'll go ahead and darken so you can see the shape I'm talking about that we just drew, that one in the middle. And this is the top part of the beak, so to show a little dimension, you can do a little trick and actually just go ahead and trace on the left-hand side, kind of darken that line that was the horizontal about halfway, and that's gonna be like the inside of the beak. Next up, we'll go ahead and do the bottom part of the beak. And for this, you can go ahead and just do a line straight down the middle of the S curve that we just drew. So it's kind of like a little curvy T. And the cool thing is the bottom part of the circle that we just drew is actually gonna make kind of the second line of that beak. So you can go ahead and darken the right half of that circle, and then just a straight line to make a triangle. So basically we did the curvy T, a horizontal line back there, darken the bottom of the circle, and then you can connect the bottom of the T to the right hand side of the circle, and that whole thing will make a nice 3D beak for us. How's everybody feeling so far? Good, oh good. The beak's like the trickiest part, so we're over the hardest thing. Okay, and one of our last features, we're gonna go ahead and add some eyes. So for this, that kind of gives the character life, right? We're gonna go ahead and just do 2 ovals. So just like when we drew the circle, you can try a couple times. The first one's gonna be in this upper quarter of the circle, the sphere, and it's just gonna be a nice oval shape. So just do your best. I know it's a little chilly, so if your hands are a little shaky, it's okay. And then for the other eye, this one's a little bit closer to us, so it's gonna be just a smidge bigger. And it's gonna be the same thing, just kind of in the middle of this quarter, we can go ahead and do an oval. And for the pupils of the eyes, it's gonna be the same thing, just another oval. You can really have Orangebird looking whatever direction you want, as long as the pupils are in the same side of the eye, it's gonna look good. We also like to do it right against the edge of this oval so that, you know, he doesn't look too wide-eyed. If you have white all the way around the eye, they look a little spooked, so you always wanna kind of have the pupil right up against that first oval that you drew. So I'm gonna have Orangebird looking up because I think that's really cute. But again, he could be looking at his beak, or like feel free to make it your own. And a lot of these principles that we're doing, you can really use to help you draw any character, or even your own character. All right, and Orangebird's still missing something. Anybody know what he's missing? I see like people doing this. Yeah, the little kind of leaves at the top of his head. I guess his little hair, or the feathers, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and add. These are super simple. If you wanna do one to the side, you can to practice. You don't have to. It's just gonna be a parenthesis followed by another parenthesis facing the other way. And so right at our circle, it's gonna be in this upper corner. So we're gonna do one kind of sticking straight up and the other one right next to it. So it's gonna be that rainbow shape and that U shape, or the 2 parentheses that end at about the same place, right on his circle head. Now you can go back through and start to darken all of your favorite lines. As you get to the circle for the head, you can go ahead and kind of darken that circle so that it looks like it's in front of the leaves. If you want to get fancy, you can also do a little bit of shading. So one trick to make characters really dynamic is adding a highlight to their eyes. So if you want to do that, you go ahead and do another tiny oval right at the top of the pupils. And then as you shade, you just go back and forth with your pencil, adding a lot of pressure. And then if you lighten it as it goes down, it's kind of another tip to make the eyes look really a little bit more dimensional and dynamic. So for that, I just did ovals at the top of the eyes, and then as you're shading, start with really dark at the top and get it a little bit lighter as you go down the character. Other areas to shade could be the inside of the beak. So this little rainbow shape underneath the top part, and this little triangle shape at the bottom part. And if you want to add even more details, you could also go through and shade the leaves, because those are a little bit darker. So all the leaves, his two arms, and then the little leaf at the top. And again, feel free to make it your own. You could even add little lines if you want to for the arms. So for that, you would just do kind of that same rainbow shape on both sides. And then little lines coming out from that if you want that added detail. Or you can keep it simple, totally up to you. You go through and just start to darken all your favorite lines. Make sure that you're feeling good, feel happy with it. Kind of, you can double check it to mine, see if you missed anything. And then when you're feeling really good about your masterpiece, gotta let the world know what you did. So you can go ahead and sign and date if you want to the bottom right-hand corner of your drawing. So when you're feeling good, you can go ahead and put your signature on it. And then you should be all good. And my favorite part is seeing everybody's at the end. So if you're all wrapped up and feeling good, I'd love it if you guys would turn around and show me how they turned out. So cute, that looks so good. These look awesome. You guys did great. I'm gonna come over here as well. Let me see. Oh, it looks so good. I love it. Oh my goodness, the details. You guys, these are so awesome. I love it. Okay, and we still have a few minutes, so if anybody would like, does anybody have any questions about either your drawing or art at Disney or art in general? Any questions today? Yeah. Sorry. Did I go to college for it? Yes. Sorry, it's a little tricky here with the wind. Yes, I got a Bachelor's of Fine Arts and Illustration from BYU. So that was my art background. Go Cougars. Awesome. Any other questions? Yeah, no worries. Okay.